Jaya Jaya, what is the ultimate solution to master coupling shadows? This is really an exciting topic because most couples that I know out there are going to be exposed at some point to or another to shadow outbreaks. This is the term that I use. It's shadow outbreaks. Something is happening to your couple, something is happening to your relationship container that creates dissonance, create dissatisfaction, create something that is uncomfortable. Okay, so for me, the ultimate solution is to establish a foundation in your relationship that I call dark coupling. So we are going mystical here. Okay, what I'm giving you in these sessions, it's a meditation or an invocation practice based on a very simple mantra. I'm not going to reveal it to you because I want this to be really within the container of an initiation process. It's a series of steps that we take to anchor that into your field. So the core code word here that I'm using is dark coupling, the dark coupling vehicle or the dark coupling archetypes. So when you hear dark coupling, you go like, oh my God, we are going into the darkness. You go like, yeah, actually we are. Actually, the reason why I'm using these terms is because darkness is sacred. You know, we are going to step out of the model of Star Wars, the light against the darkness and all that is fighting. No, it's like darkness by itself is just the opposite polarity to light. It's like you have light and you have darkness, and darkness by itself is pure. The judgments that we have about darkness are about the corruption or darkness, or how darkness is being used. So what does it mean to have a coupling vehicle that is anchored or has foundations in the darkness? It means that it's a little bit like if you want to build a house, you need to set up foundations that are really connected with the earth, right? The deeper you go, the stronger the foundations are going to be. And for relationships, it is a little bit the same thing. So when you want to go and navigate the darkness as a couple, you know, you need a little bit of help with that. Because if you just go like, okay, without a vision, without a vehicle, and without an intention that is very clear, then you might get lost in the process. So what I give you is like a set of mantras, a set of rituals and practices that allow you to create, embody, and integrate an energetic, emotional, mystical vehicle that is going to serve you into navigating the darkness. So this is a little bit the frame that we are using here, okay? And another metaphor is, imagine that when your couple is exposed to a shadow outbreak, right? For instance, you have a jealousy trigger in the couple that is alive. Then imagine that when you have an attack on your couple, a shadow outbreak, which is like an energetic or emotional attack, whether it's coming from within or from outside. But imagine a little bit like you have this fear, and then you have attacks coming from outside. You know, it's just a symbol because it can come also from within. But basically imagine that there is a field of vulnerability. It means that the foundation of your couple is not strong enough. So what you want is to establish foundation, establish a grounding experience where all the chakras, everything is being integrated so that your field is really protected, integrated, alive, juicy, fun, and all that, but has also this foundation of power where your Sahasrara, right? This is the crown chakra of your coupling experience, is really integrated. The Muladhara is really anchored, right? The Muladhara is the base chakra. So you have this foundation of your coupling experience that is really strong. And what this does, it doesn't mean that you're going to navigate life, you know, as a couple in a way that is rigid. No, you can play with passion. You can be both passionate and have a very strong energetic and emotional foundation. So when we go into the dark coupling initiations, what we do is like we anchor something that most couples are going to completely miss. It's like it's very rare to have a marriage for a couple that is a dark coupling marriage. We go into the light, right? I promise to love you forever. You give the vows, and then within 3 months of marriage or 7 years of marriage, then suddenly there is a cheating episode or there is something that is happening in the relationship where you go, actually, there is a shadow in the field, or there is some darkness in the field, some shadow, some immaturity in the field that makes me want to run away. And this is what I'm going to do. So goodbye, I'm divorcing, I'm out of the field. So the reason why this is happening is precisely because it's not integrated in the darkness. At least that's the frame within which I function. So what we do in tantric coupling is like we are going to establish a tantric marriage or a tantric connection, a tantric resonance between you and your partner that allows you to anchor all that on a deeper level into the darkness. And once you have a darkness vehicle, it's a little bit like this, having this protective force that sustains your coupling experience. And then probably almost like instantly when you start working with that energy, I mean, it takes maybe couple of weeks, a month to integrate. I mean, the first experience might be like, you know, the revelation, you understand, you feel what this is, so you have a direct energetic and emotional experience of what dark coupling means. But then what this does is that on the long term, it establishes a foundation that protects your relationship. And the chances and the possibilities and the frequency of shadow outbreaks becomes less and less, because suddenly you look at the shadow wanting to hit you, wanting to flirt with you, you know, you have like, oh, I have a trigger rising, you know, you don't flirt with that shadow anymore. You go like, I know you, like, I don't really have time for you. You know, you don't enter into that conversation. You don't enter into those spaces because your being is fully anchored and grounded in a place of power and stability, right? So again, don't feel like having this stability is going to make your relationship boring. It's actually the opposite. Suddenly you have tools and you go like, wow, now we can really play. Now we can start really playing. And it doesn't mean that shadows are not going to be present. They are not going to be emerging. But probably, you know, almost like probably 70-80% of the shadows that you would be exposed otherwise that have to do with, you know, patterns of weakness and vulnerability in your coupling experience are going to just be clear because suddenly you have the foundation. It's a little bit like if your house is falling apart and the walls are, you know, wobbly and there is an earthquake and the whole thing shakes and falls down. You go like, how do you strengthen your house, your building, your temple? Well, you're going to put foundations that go deeper into the ground until it hits the rock, it hits really the solidity, and that is going to establish the foundation is going to be through establishing certain structures in the house, but basically you can strengthen the building, and it's the same for intentional coupling design. You can design your coupling experience in ways that are intentional and bringing in the right energies, the right initiations to strengthen your couple. Okay? So this is really good news. When I started testing these techniques, I was blown away because we would be in dissonance with my partner. We would start going into dissonance, feeling the shadow triggers coming to the surface. And I'd be like, let's pause for a second. Let's sing a little bit of this mantra. Let's sing a little bit of this activation to anchor our dark coupling foundation. We sing the mantras and that's it. The trigger's gone. I go like, where did it go? It's like there is an element of magic. But this is really the way it works, okay? You might be like, wow, this is too good to be true. It's not. It's true. This is the kind of experience that you might have where suddenly you go like, after being trapped in shadow zone for a month, 2 months, or 3 months or longer, then suddenly you go like, wow, we've got something, a foundation or something that we didn't tap into before. And this is like the mind-blowing realization. The thing that is important as well about that is that it is a tantric practice. It means that it's not just you doing it, you with your partner. It is like you really call in the tantric spirit and the tantric coupling experience. And there are forces at play that get involved into the foundation of your relationship. Okay? Something else to say about that, it is that you repeat the practices. Every now and then you come back to singing this mantra, to repeating these energetic or mystical vows of connection to reestablish resonance. So it is a practice. It's like a muscle that you train, but it doesn't take much, you know, maybe 5 minutes every day, every now and then, or more frequently if you want. There are more practices, so it can be also a different set of rituals, but basically the core element is this: anchor the dark coupling vehicle in your relationship. Okay? If that doesn't make sense to you, reach out, come to me, come to an immersion, come to some training, sign up for some sessions, come with your couple into my temple, and I will show you how it works. It's very intuitive, it's very instinctual, it's very natural, and it's very easy. The techniques are not complex, but it requires a little bit of a safe container to really anchor that in your field. It's an initiation into the dark coupling experience. I love you. I will see you soon.